my Facebook, but then I didn't have time. And the kind of people that look at my Facebook probably don't want to watch.
I don't want to share anything I do personally.
Yeah.
Hi! Hi, everybody!
Hope they caught that on the mic. I don't want to share this with anybody. But you should like, subscribe, and share. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Shenanigans. We got lots of excitement planned tonight. So much excitement you can't see it because we have, well, you can kind of see it in the corner. We have the green screen.
We have the green screen. We have lots of exciting things. Our backdrop is full of Kimberbell new products.
Yes, the new clear blue, which brings me right nicely. That's a nice segue to Shop News. Because I was going to mention Shop News that we have the new Kimberbell tiles are in.
They are
So if you're interested, you can certainly pick them up, come in the shop and pick them up, or order them online.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably free shipping because they're over $100.
I was going to ask how much they were, but I was going to ask you later.
So as far as Shop News goes, that's the big one this week is the Kimberbell tiles came in. We also got the new fill in the blank for October, which should be available here it will be available October 1st. The design with the purchase of the tea towel.
Which comes in a package of two.
Got package of 2 stripes and dots, I believe.
Yeah, it's cute. They're using their new velveteen
Yep.
with their can't say that word. That soft stuff. Yeah, what do they call it? I can't. I'm going to say by Annie's and flexi foam.
Flexi foam.
Flexi foam.
Okay.
It used flexi foam in the pumpkin.
So that came in. Aside from that, we've got a few more classes on the website. We do have a couple more spots in the machine embroidery quilting, which we have a couple of seats left for Saturday if you're interested, and also next Tuesday, I believe. So if you're interested in that, sign up sooner than later because that's filling up quick. I think.
I'm going to interrupt and give them some tidbits of secrets
Okay.
that if they sign up, they're going to be able to do.
Okay.
They will be using.
Oh, we are going to cover the tiles a little bit. She is.
We will be. I will be covering them, my first impression tonight, but I'm going to include them in the class.
And the class on Saturday.
Yes. So you'll be able to come in and play with them without purchasing them. In addition to that, I have the weightless quilter here, where we will be demonstrating if you're quilting. Why are you laughing?
I was just reading.
Okay.
She's like, we can't play in the chat tonight. We're driving to the cabin.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God. We not repositional tape, repositional glue, and that's not the quiz tonight. But if that's what you meant, thumbs up. That won't be the quiz. But
I love how easy it is to get us sidetracked.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. And we're going to let people play with the weightless quilter.
Oh, weightless quilter,
The
yes.
weightless quilter we will have set up to Doug and
Okay.
Pony.
Sounds like fun.
No, you will get to do Amelia Scott's edge to edge. You will get to do Amelia Scott's custom stuff. You will get to do some of the Juju stuff. I will show you some of my favorite Sarah Veldum designs. It is a design-a-rama.
You're going to cram that all into 4 hours? I love the look on her face.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. But it should be a fantastic class. Like I said, we do have a few seats left for Saturday and Tuesday. So if you are interested, sign up sooner than later. We also, the other big thing, Crafty Computing. That's filling up quick. That's the 4-session class on Friday afternoons. And T-shirt quilt. I put this on the calendar because everybody's like, I want to make a T-shirt quilt.
Yeah.
And anybody that's been here knows how much I hate making T-shirt quilts. But because I love you all, I will be doing a class on how to do a T-shirt quilt. And if you're interested in that, that is going to be Saturdays in October. The price include, the only thing you have to bring to the party for that is just 12 T-shirts or 16 or a pile of shirts. Everything else is included. That includes the quilting. So it's a really good deal if you get into that. And I think that's it. Oh, no. I'm going to throw this into Shop News only because it's news. We had some new fabric come in.
It is news.
And I just wanted to show, this is the new Benertex Marbella is a new basics line they're coming out with. But we do have the charm packs, and we will have the pattern for this.
And that you're referring to these.
Yes. So if you look at the different colors of the texture on that, that's a new basic from Benertex. Marbella. And Danny was nice enough to throw the sample together for us.
Throw it together.
Oh yeah, she knocked this thing out. She did a great job with it. And we do have it is a free pattern. You have it's a PDF, right? Yeah. which we'll have available with the purchase of the layer cakes if you're interested in making this. So it's basically just a layer cake and some background fabric, but I just wanted to show that off because it was really cool.
And Danny chose black for the background.
I chose black.
Oh.
She never would have chosen that black because she hates wave texture.
It looks really beautiful. Nice job.
So that's
Nice job.
so that just came in as well, and
Was
we'll
that
be.
one
One
pack?
With extra, I'm gonna make a table runner.
Yep.
Ooh, and Danny's saying she's going to make a table runner for me with the extra.
But that's like I said, that's a new basic line from Buttertex. We'll probably start getting some more of that in. We've got 3 or 4 bolts of it now, but I wanted to bring the layer cake in so that we could see, kind of get a feel for, if there's some interest in it, and well, there is, and honestly, they're gorgeous fabrics. So we'll be
pretty.
bringing more of that in. So that pretty much sums up shop news. Not a whole lot tonight on shop news.
Sweet.
I spent most of my thinking tonight for the upcoming workbench because.
Which is a very exciting workbench. Should we do our quiz before you do workbench?
Well, yeah. According to the outline, we've got to do quiz and quilt of the week, turbo tip, then workbench.
Oh. Okay. Quiz time.
Quiz time.
Quiz time. Based on last week's show, one question.
I think Jean already answered it, didn't he?
No, but good try, Jean. Good try. Last week's show, we drew the name of the winner of the monthly free quilt.
Yes.
What do you have to do to get entered into the raffle for the free quilt?
How many people got watching this live?
I'm watching myself. Carolyn's there. Carolyn, you know the answer.
How do you get entered
Okay.
into the raffle for the free quilt?
The once a month free quilt.
Well,
How do you get
it's
entered?
Roughly once a month.
Okay, well, we're roughly once a month.
Well,
free
you know
quilt.
how we are.
How
around
do
here.
you get
Yeah.
entered? It's a free quilt, bubbies.
Yeah.
Completed, by the way, not in pieces.
Quilted and bound and everything.
Yeah.
Basically samples that you do at home.
Okay.
got it.
Nobody's got it?
Wait,
This is for our $10 GC,
Go.
people.
Yes.
Come on, Carolyn, get those fingers moving. Bev, where are you?
You know what I
Bev,
used to love?
where are you?
heard from Bev. I wonder if
Do you
I get
remember
it.
the old school?
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Is our live chat updating, Eddie, or are we broken?
There it is. Spend $100 or more.
Yeah, nice.
Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn right behind.
So when Carolyn gets it,
Here it is,
we're gonna give it to Carolyn.
Oh, poor Lynn.
We'll take Carolyn. We take Carolyn anyway.
$10
She puts up with us.
$10 GC.
Yeah.
Yay! So you spend $100 and then you put your receipt in the bucket.
We print 2 receipts.
You print 2 receipts.
One
and
they take home and
receipt
one
goes in the
one
bucket.
goes in the
Yeah.
bucket.
So it's every $100 if you tell the girls you want it broken up. You know,
What?
like if you're spending.
No, it's
No.
it's
If
a
I'm
one
spending
cent.
$200, you're ringing me up twice, so I get 2 receipts. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Tell Carolyn.
You remind me of the lady that got stuck with.
Carolyn, $10 GC is on your account now.
It's so I was over at Hobby Lobby one day and I was checking out, and there were 2 ladies in front of me
Yeah.
arguing with the poor kid behind the counter about like 30-cent difference in something they bought. And I
that
was
would
thinking
be
to
probably
myself,
me.
I am so glad that I don't play the coupon game.
I will pay you 30 cents. Go away.
I'm not buying it if I don't have a coupon.
Well, the coupon says.
They don't have the coupon anymore.
I know. I
It's
know.
probably because I got sick of people yelling at them.
Okay, so that's that. Quiz time's over.
Quiz time's
That's
over,
it.
okay.
Quilt of the
Quiz
week.
time. Quilt of the week. Yes.
Quilt of the week.
Quilt of the week.
What
And then
will
this is
it
another quilt of the week.
be?
How I always get quilt of the weeks. And I
Quilt
talk, oh,
of
they're
the
scrappy.
week.
But look at this one. I like this one. It's fun.
I like
It's purple.
I love
And it.
Thought you liked orange. Lynn likes
But
purple.
what I like about this quilt is it shows a couple of concepts that I tell people about all the time. People get worried about the colors in their quilts. Like, oh, does this color match or does that color match? One of the tricks, if you want to make a scrappy quilt to use a lot of different colors, use a lot of different colors. So if you look closely, if she only used maybe 3 of these purples in this quilt, it wouldn't look right because they would clash so off. But because she has so many purples,
What are those little bunnies?
yeah.
Yeah, those are little bunnies.
She's got so much fun fabric in here, and because it's such a variety, you can get away with different shades of purple. And then the other thing she also did, which is fantastic, is her backgrounds aren't all the same print. You've got a little bit of off-white, some whites, but if you just throw enough of it in there, it adds to the scrap effect, and it doesn't look like it doesn't belong because you have enough of it. And that's what makes this quilt great is, especially with scrap quilts, just throw more colors at it. And the more colors you throw at it, the less you have to worry about them.
But she kept her colors within a palette where they go well together.
Yes.
She didn't go crazy with the palette.
But as an example,
Like lavender is definitely the overall theme.
yes. Let me see if I can find a good example of this. Because if you were to kind of put this together and some of these different shades, I don't know. I'd have to look a lot harder at it to find what I'm talking about. But yes,
So who won Quilt of the Week?
it's Tracy.
Yay,
Hey,
Tracy!
Tracy!
Quilt of the Week. You know what I'm amazed at? I wonder if she got this border print after she did this, or if this was a scrap as well.
I have no idea. I might have
Because
to
it's
ask her.
Exactly a scrap as well.
Yeah.
It does a really good job of picking up.
Oh,
all
I
the
should have
other
brought her other.
colors.
She has another one here that, and the other thing that Tracy does that I absolutely love. She didn't do it on this one. She has like the same bat, but she has backs that are like
Is
6,
that
8.
flannel?
Yeah.
Mm.
She has like 6 or 8 different pieces. She's like pieces her backs,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're a lot of fun because it's just so random.
So you're not careful when you load it to make sure the back seams fall in a certain, like, right in the center? Or,
No.
oh.
You know, Brent.
Well, no, this kind of as a side note on that, which is interesting because there's actually 2 schools of thought on that. Some people say put that seam right down the middle,
Yeah,
but there is a school of thought that says that's a bad idea.
because you'll never get it in the middle.
No, because when you fold a blanket, you always fold it in half. And so you're going to constantly fold it on that seam, and that seam is going to wear faster.
So do you tell people to put their seams horizontal?
Well, just whatever works.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, if you have but if you do have it, you do want a seam centered. Like I said, there is a school of thought that says don't do it, because that's where it's always going to get folded, and that will over time wear out, because you're going to be actually wearing the stitching out.
I never fold my quilts often enough.
No, I'm just
Right
saying
now.
it's just a thought that they have out there.
Yeah.
And that also applies if you're somebody that likes to camp, and you're like, oh, I'm going to fold the tent up just right. You never want to fold the tent up. You just want to stuff it in a stuff bag, because you will actually, by folding it the same way every time, you'll actually ruin the waterproofing of it, because you'll have creases that are wore out faster.
Interesting. I'm
Yeah,
not
see?
going to go camping anytime soon, but
That's how
if I
fold
do,
knit sheets in a ball.
In a ball, yeah.
everything in a ball. Now we know why. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Throw your sheets in a ball,
Yeah.
people.
That's the theory. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Put in the basket.
All right,
All
that's
right.
Quilt of the Week.
Okay. Woo, woo. Okay, so I had this really great turbo tip.
Turbo.
Turbo
Turbo.
turbo
I'm gonna
tip.
turbo.
And I left it at home. So I know. So I'm going to show it off next week. But I'm going to show some of the tips I've come across with the
I wish
Kimbo,
people could see this right now. Eddie is eating cardboard.
Yes, he's been eating it for 3
the
weeks.
candy corn quilts, because they're sort of tips. Okay?
Okay.
And I said, Brent, you got to get some more of this tape in. I got to show off.
And as we were sitting here talking about it, I just ordered like 6 or 8 more
Yeah.
rolls. So
I want to show, Eddie, we're doing top down.
yeah.
This is my hutch. Notice I use crayons again. I use crayons again, yeah. And look at my bolts.
Oh.
They don't fall off. Go to the other view, Eddie. You can see it shaking it crazy like. Look at that. It's not falling off. Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
I'm going to show you how I made the bolts.
Nice.
It's so easy and it's so,
That was very exciting.
it stays on
The-
so good. And I used it again. Yeah, I'm going to show you how, because I got 2 more to make for this. How cute is this, people?
Very cute.
The same tip for this, too.
Now, just to be clear, all those embellishments and all the leather and stuff, is that all in the kit?
It is in the kit.
So if you buy the kit, you have all those
It
extras.
is. It's all the buttons, all the little things to make the bolts. And they tell you don't embellish till you get to the end. I get too bored if I have to wait to the end. And I hate doing all the embellishments at the end. So I say to myself, it's already quilted. All I am is going to trim it and then do 1/4-inch seams. So I'm only going to wait to the very end on embellishments that like overlap another block or might get in the way. Because I get bored too quickly. I want to see a finished block.
I concur.
So I always put on whatever
That is a
embellishments.
Brent-approved message right there.
I don't, they're cuter when they're done. So look at this, guys. In your kit, I'm going to go top down, yep. In the kit, you get 8 of these little plastic things, and they have holes in them because they want you to, yes, get a needle and thread, and sew your fabric to these, and then sew these to your thing. Well, watch this, people. You will love me for this. So I'm making my little fabric bolt. Fold this in half. I take this Nancy Zimmerman double-sided tape by Clover that's my new best friend. This stuff is amazing. My other double-sided tape doesn't hold as well as this does. Okay. I put my fabric on my little bolt. No stitching, no sewing.
And then you're going to fold it over.
Yeah, and then I'll put one more piece on the last piece here to make sure it sticks.
And that's all.
Closed.
And that's all you did for that fantastic little embellishment.
And then
But yet you like to sew.
Different.
I didn't get that out. Hang on.
I like the cheese thread.
But, you know, a lot of people talk about using hot glue. I'm not a fan of hot glue because I always burn myself and I get those strings everywhere.
I hate the strings. They're always over
Okay,
everything.
there, I got it. So,
Yay!
and then I put another piece on the back,
And then you just stick it to
and
the...
I just stick it on my thingy poo. And that's the same way I put this sign on.
Now, are you going to stitch it down later, or are you just going to leave it stuck with
No,
it?
you saw this. This
I
ain't gonna
did.
fall
I was
off.
just... Okay.
Okay, and now,
If you throw it through the wash, though, it's not going to hold up.
who puts these through the wash?
I
Well, I'll
don't
take them
know.
off if I'm going to put it through the wash. They can come off.
What if you put Velcro on them, and then you could
no,
reposition them?
But they come. They can, I can take it off if I really want to.
Fancy now.
No.
Look at that, though. Anyway, I also did it with a button. Now you'll notice there's thread in the button as well, because when I didn't have the thread in it, it looked naked.
Mhm.
But sewing through all these layers is a pain in the buttinsky. I feel like my little fingers can't. I need pliers to do it. You want me to stay still?
Well, he was showing
that's
off the
really,
button.
Oh. So what I did is I put a couple things of thread through the button first, and then stuck it on. So it looks like I did what I should have
I
done.
mean, if you're going to put thread through the button anyway, why
No,
not just
it's
sew
really
it on?
hard to get, because it's hard to get through all these leaves, and then you keep missing the hole. You're like poke, poke, hole, poke, poke, hole. It's so much easier just to do it
You
with
want
that.
to say it, don't you, Lynn?
So I said to Brent, you got to make sure you get this stuff in because it's one of my favorite new
yes,
tricks.
we have like
I mean,
6 or 9 bolt
it's made
rolls.
these things so cute. The other tip I wanted to give you is on this block. I followed the instructions. They have you do the placement stitch and the tack down on all of these little shells. It's one big piece of fabric. And then they say trim it. Okay, trim it. Look how close these are sewed together. What I recommend is sew the placement stitches on number 1, stop your machine, trim it. Trim it in between each shell because it was a nightmare to get my little scissors in there and do a good trim. It's a nightmare. So stop, trim, stitch, stop, trim, stitch, stop, trim. And you'll be
No,
good
you'll
to
have to
go.
manually stop it because it wants to do it all at once.
It does, because
Okay.
it's all one color.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do. You have to say, no, I'm done, stop, so I can do my trim and then set up to go for the next one. Much easier, much faster.
Okay.
One more tip. See, I've been busy on this thing. This has to do with the little skirts we make. There's a couple of these in it. They are super cute. By the way, tape is used on this ribbon, too, to keep it just perfect. There's tape underneath here to each other, the Wonder Tape.
Yep.
Yes, keeps everything even on her waist. Keeps it right where it should be. Yes,
Shot D.
should be. They tell you, anybody who loves the organza, I swear every time I have to use this stuff, there's a good side and a bad side to the organza. I swear, well, this one is, the purple is two-sided, but this one is definitely a good side and a bad side. They have you fold bad sides together, or wrong sides together. They have you stitch it, gather it up, Then sew it face up like this, and then push it back down and sew it again, and then put your little ribbon on. Well, that's a lot of work. And this stuff frays like heck. So what I would suggest is you sew it right sides together, stitch a 1/4 inch down here,
No.
turn your tunnel out. Now you've got no raw edges. Oh.
And then do the
Then
rest
go
of it.
ahead and baste it, but then all I'm doing is sewing it one way, just like this, people. And I have no raw edges. Nope.
And you're going to
Nope.
cover it with the tape anyway. so
Well,
it
I
doesn't
know, but
matter.
I have a few ruffles that I wanted to
Yeah.
show because they look so nice and neat because there's no raw edges. See how
Right.
pretty those are? They're pretty.
Oh, those are nice.
So, do it inside out, flip it around, sew it, and just sew it on once. No flipping and flopping.
Cool.
Those are my tips so far. We're
All right.
we're cruising.
Good job, proud of you.
Oh, we're making good time. So tonight now we're going to get into the workbench.
Oh, and don't forget, we still have some of these kits
Yes,
left.
we do have some of those kits left.
So,
Oh, and just as a shout
I'm
out, I
gonna
forgot
get
to
'em.
mention this in shop news. We should have a scan and cut in here, the new scan and cut, probably the first part of next month. We will be doing a kind of a review. Becky's going to play with it and give us her thoughts.
so will Danny.
And so,
The new scan and cut.
because I know everybody, I've had a few people ask about it. We should have it next month. All right, so I have to get our screen out for this awesomeness.
I need to move.
Oh, you don't.
Yeah,
You're just
I-
gonna,
I-
you're just gonna
I
zoom
would,
in on me.
I would like to move.
All right.
I don't want to be part of his poker.
No poker.
Okay.
We'll want the other,
Oh,
the other
wait,
one.
wait, look, yeah,
You're
no,
fine where you're at.
over,
So, what we're going to talk about tonight, which camera am I on? This one here? Okay. That's like a recruiting. I need you. You. Listen to me. What we're going to be talking about is every now and then I get the timing's off. So we're going to talk about timing. I'm not going to show you how to change your timing. That's beyond the purview of tonight's quick workbench. What I'm going to show you is how to check your timing real quick. And this is going to also apply, a few things I'm going to talk about apply also to long arms. This is something to keep in mind because timing, you actually see more of this in long arms than you see your
they're
door
always
machine going out.
screwed up.
But what I'm going to show you is just a quick way how to check your timing. Now there's two things, and what? Yeah, let's hear it. What's up?
Nothing. Oh, head's in the way.
So you see, we have this nice diagram playing the weatherman. Like I'm hoping. So what we have here is there's two things you want to keep in mind with timing. There's what they call needle rise height,
This
and
is
then
what I'm talking about.
with bob and hook.
How was your timing?
I don't know. My needle rise was off a little bit.
That's what I'm talking about. How do you fix your needle rise? You bring it into Brent.
Now you got to stick it down into the bottom farther.
That's what she said.
Okay, I really want to know how to do this.
Okay.
Maybe
so,
not.
So anyway, there's a few things I'm going to show you on the machine here in just a second. But a very important thing to keep in mind
Is that hole?
is that hole, yeah, is right here. This is your needle rise height. This is the first way to check your timing. Now you want to make sure that your needle is all the way to the left position on your machine. Because if your machine does zigzags, you've got three positions basically. You've got the left, center, and right. Timing is different depending where you're at because you're in a different spot in the hook as it rotates. And you can be further, and so the left is the furthest point out that the hook wants to be before it misses your needle. So if your timing is set properly on the right side, like if you use the measurements I give you to set your right side, you're going to skip stitches on the left side because it's too far out and it's going to miss the eye of the needle. So when we're talking about, you want to make sure that your needle is set to the left. If you have a straight stitch machine, it's going to be in the middle and it is what it is. That's going to be like, so on a long arm, it's definitely going to be, where it's at. But on a sewing machine, first thing you want to do is set your needle to the left position. The next thing you want to do, and this is right here, is raise it 3.1 meters.
How do I know that?
Millimeters. I'm going to show you how to check this in a second. My rule of thumb, 3 millimeters. And this works across most every machine I've ever used. This is a good quick check. And it could be a 20-year-old machine made yesterday. That 3 millimeter is a pretty good indication. That 3 millimeter does not apply to long arms. This is sewing machines only. And the quick, easy way to check this, bring your needle all the way to the bottom, towards where it's at the furthest point down, bring it up 3 millimeters. And if you bring it up 3 millimeters, what you should have when you bring it up 3 millimeters is this right here. The hook should pass just behind the needle, should be just starting to enter behind the needle, as you see down here in this picture.
How am I going to tell that?
Well, I'm going to show you in just a second. And now there's a couple things to keep in mind here. So your timing.
Right edge of needle and tip coincide.
Yes, your needle and your tip should coincide. So there's something to keep in mind here. When we're talking about timing, it's the fact that at 3 millimeters up, you're 3 millimeters up from bottom, and your hook, as we see in this picture here, is going to pass. I'm going to flip my stick over, Lynn. And it should be passing just behind the needle. Needle bar height.
Just behind the needle.
Yes, the hook's going to pass just behind it. It's starting to go behind it there. Needle bar height is how far above the eye of the needle that hook is passing. My experience, and this is just me as a tech, is that it's usually not the timing. Usually that hook is passing behind the needle where it should be, but the needle got jammed, and so it's either a little bit higher or a little bit lower than where it needs to be, and so you're getting skip stitches.
And you have to measure it from the top of the needle eye.
Top of the eye, that space between the eye and the hook is what you're looking at. Now, you don't necessarily need to get in there and measure that at 1.4 millimeters or whatever. If you know what a needle looks like, we went over this in a previous workbench, the scarf of the needle. Basically, you want to make sure that the hook is coming through about midway, to the lower half of the scarf. As long as the hook at 3 millimeters up is going through the scarf, you're probably going to be fine. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. You don't necessarily need to get in there and measure that. But what I've seen happen is your timing will be right, but you're 3 millimeters up and the eye is above the hook. So that means it's not the timing that's out. We have to actually drop the needle.
So I'm thinking all those times we change a needle for skip stitches, it might just be because we didn't put it in right in the first place.
Yeah, it could be that the needle just slid down a little bit.
Yeah.
In fact, that's more often than not the case when I get one in here. Because if your needle slips down just a half a millimeter, it's going to change its relationship to the hook, and then it's going to act like it's missing time. So like I said, my experience, and this applies a lot to long arms, more long arms because this is where I usually see a timing issue, is that it's more likely that the needle bar height or the needle rise height is off, not that the hook timing is off. So, and then this picture over here I just put in there because on a Brother machine that shows you where you would loosen the bolt to drop your needle.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah,
We
you can.
shan't do that.
You shouldn't do that. No. If you and the reason I want to show this to people is to check your timing because a lot of people are like, oh, my timing's probably off, and 9 times out of 10 it's not a quick, easy check. And when I say not
That
even,
is not a quick, easy check.
it is. I'm going to show you real quick how to check it. It's
It's like
easier
I
than
need
you
a
think.
special tool.
No, you don't.
Okay then.
All right, let's swap over to this camera
Prove
here.
me wrong.
All right.
Can I use my favorite double-sided tape for this?
It might come in handy.
I can fix that.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
So to check this, you're going to want to pull the case off it so you have access so you can see your hook and everything. All you're going to do is then rotate your handle so that the needle goes all the way to the bottom. And in this case, we're actually going to want to pick that back up because the foot is in the way. I'm going to take the foot out of the way so we can get to it. So all you're going to do is rotate your needle all the way to the bottom, what they call bottom dead center. So it's all the way down, and what you'll find is I'm wiggling it a little bit, but you'll notice that my needle really hasn't moved. And then as I start to come, it's coming back up. A little bit of a catch in there. So you're going to go all the way to the bottom. Next thing you do is you find a ruler that has millimeters on it.
I have those.
Yeah, and if you're into freedom units, it's 1/8 of an inch is about where it is about the same. 1/8 of an inch is a little high, and all you're going to do is you take that ruler, and what I do is I set it right down on the plate there, and I'm picking a point. And so I'm going to take this point here because it's right at 14. If you guys look in there, you can see where the top of my so if I hold my ruler steady, and all I'm going to do is rotate that up 1, 2, 3. And then all I'm going to do now is look underneath here to see where my hook's at. Now, if you look closely, you can probably see that we're a little bit past the hook.
I was going to say, it looks like my timing's off.
It's not.
Now you forgot to set to the left.
I forgot to set it to the left. That's exactly right. So if we had set this to the left, it would be over there a little bit, and you would see that the timing's exactly where it should be. And that's all you have to do to check it. That's how you check timing. It's a quick, easy check. You made it sound like it was all complicated.
It was. I don't know how you told 1, 2, 3.
I'll go over it again just so you can see it.
Did you all see the 1, 2, 3 thing?
So we're going to come all the way down. So you bring it all the way down to bottom dead center, and then this, like I said, this scale here, these are millimeters over here. And I'm just going to say, so right here, you see where it says 14?
Mm-hmm.
That solid line lines up with the top of that right there.
Oh,
So I'm going to carefully watch as I go up 1, 2, 3.
So you're not looking at the needle when you're measuring.
No,
you're
I'm
just
looking.
taking
I'm
a
looking at that spot. That
You're using a bigger picture. Because I'm thinking,
Yeah.
how do you know?
Yeah,
you
you're
went
not going to
up
look at
the
the.
needle?
You just. What I find is when I
Cool.
get my ruler down here, I just put it next to it, find
Pick a
something.
reference point.
Pick a
I
pick a
got it.
reference point and just lift it up 3 millimeters.
Oh, well now I see it.
And if you're a little past or a little forward, there is a little bit of room for error there. So I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep if you're a little bit smidge left or right. But if you're way over, you've missed it. Or if the eye of the needle is above your hook, then you are definitely in trouble. But like I said, you want to do it to the left because on the left position is where you're gonna get that measurement.
I see. I see.
And like I said, that 3 millimeter plus or minus, like it's such a small number, plus or minus. That 3 millimeters is a pretty solid number. You can use that for a quick ballpark check of any machine really. And that's how you check your timing. And I'm not going to get into how to fix your timing. I just want to show you how to check
You
it.
shouldn't have taken that off yet, Ed.
Why?
Because I don't like looking at the green.
Okay. Well, he can put up the background, a nice background for us. See what's he got for us
No,
out there.
we're good with that cover. I
Yeah,
just-
but no. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, we're chatting about
There we go.
timing.
A nice lakeside. So that's how you check your timing. So if you and so a lot of times you get skip stitches or whatnot. There's a lot of things that lead to it, but you can rule timing out really quick by just doing that quick check. And if it is out, how to fix it's a whole depends on the machine and a bunch of other things. But I think what you'll find whenever you start to think timing's out, check that. And then the other thing to do.
Look how dirty that is already.
Well, we get used a lot.
Wow. Look at how dirty it is. Look at that. Holy
I
moly.
wonder if I can knit that into a sweater.
No, but there's a lot of sparkle in there.
Yeah, because it's your machine.
Sparkle.
There. So that
Yeah. What is
is
it?
all I had tonight for
Oh,
workbench.
that was very interesting. I did not know.
So that's
any
like I
of
said,
that.
and if you're on a long arm, the check is a little bit different.
Is it just a different height, or is it a different all?
There's no, the 3 millimeter rule doesn't apply on a long arm. What you're going to do on a long arm is you're going to actually bring your
Yeah.
needle on the upstroke and see where the bobbin hook comes across.
That's too much.
Well, another thing.
Yeah, I can't handle
Well,
that.
just while we're talking about it, what's interesting is on a long arm there are no feed dogs. So timing is a lot easier on a long arm because you don't have to have the timing
Of
of the feeding of the fabric and the hook all at the same time.
you should clean it while you have that off.
Well, we need like vacuums and stuff to clean it.
Hey, Dee.
All right, so that's all I have. So that brings us then to the
Dee
main
and
segment
Bev and Jolene. Woo, woo.
from Tennessee.
Okay, yeah, she's in Tennessee with cockeyes. She had some surgery done. She said she looked like she got beat up. Sorry, Dee. Can you see us, Dee? I want to show people off what Clear Blue Tiles is.
No, that's hey, have at it.
I've been through the package. First of all, I'm going to give you my first impression.
And then an honest review.
My first impression, and we will put it through some more paces on Saturday with the class, and I'll get more input from people who are actually using it. My first impression is definitely a home for it. I believe its home is going to be more for people who don't have big fancy machines with projectors and fine-tuned pointers in. But saying that, what they have done is made it very easy for you to plan out your quilt. They have included 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different designs, two different border designs, and they call these itty bitties, and they're really itty bitty. So really, it's six designs. They come in a zillion sizes, and that's where they come up with their 372 files. It's not 372 designs. It's 6 block designs or quilt to quilt edge to edge designs and 2 border designs. That's what you really get in here. But what I
Now,
also
does
found,
the expansion pack include more designs?
no,
Okay.
and I wanted to bring that up. Here's what the expansion pack does, is it gives you some bigger blue tiles. If you have bigger hoops, you need bigger tiles. But all of the designs are inside here. The magic in this, and I'm going to open it up too and show you. I'm actually going to run some on, I was going to run it on this thing, sewing machine, but it's actually going to be faster for me to simulate it on software, so that can make it go much faster. The magic. Here's why I can't just go, oh, I don't need that. I can't say that. The magic in their designs is something nobody else has done yet. Their designs are completely scaled to one another. And what that means is if I'm using a 4x12 tile these are basically placement tiles. If I'm using a 4x12 tile and I go, oh, I need a 2x4 at the bottom to finish my quilt, I can pick up the 2x4 design and no one is going to know
It'll all
that
match.
it all matches. Every one of their designs is scaled to the same exact, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick up 2 designs and you're going to go, what? The other thing they did, which is so awesome, is none of their designs are point to point. None of them. All of these designs on here have one start, one stop, but they're not point to point. So when you go to line up your stuff, you're not looking at a specific point. You're just placing them in your quilt according to where you put your tile. What? Why are you laughing?
Because
it's ingenious.
I don't know why nobody thought of that before.
It's ingenious. Between that and, so how do you get the edge to edge look? Well, you just leave less space between
Well, yeah, it's
your
similar.
patterns,
It's,
which is why that's the magic of the blue tiles, people.
which is similar to what you'll do on a long arm when you're trying to get the rows
it's
to look.
exactly what
it's-
we do on the long
The
arm.
rows look like it's one design because of the way you space it, whereas
The reason you have all these different tiles is, and truthfully, their designs come in all these different sizes, plus the expansion pack, and they're all scalable. So I could use this 8x10 block to find it, and that's why you have these little corners, so you can exactly line them up, so they only have like an 1/8 of an inch between them. They just go, go, go.
Are we losing sound, Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh, of course we are.
Is it like lost or did you fix it?
Well,
So the beauty of these is,
I can swap.
is nobody talking to me? You can't hear me?
no.
Did I shut off?
We're having issues earlier. I'm gonna swap with you. Well, this is not working anyway, so you just take this one and we'll put that one aside. Because my copy stuff is there, disappears, went off.
Unless Eddie can fix it. So, can you hear me now? Oh, my goodness. Okay, I don't know where I left. I don't know where I left off though.
Scaling tiles.
8x10s and there's a corner.
Okay.
Corner.
Here's how
Yeah, corner.
here's how these all work. They all work the same. Okay? Do you see these little marks on the outside edges? That tells me where the pattern is going to end. That tells me how big that pattern is, what it's going to fill.
So it's not going to the edge of the template, it's going to that mark.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's not going to the edge of your hoop either. So I need this when I'm planning so I can fill in whatever I want to fill in. If I want the same pattern to go the whole quilt, I'm going to take the biggest tile I can put in my biggest frame. The beauty is I got to do no math. I can start I don't have to figure out what size design I
You
need.
start slapping the tiles in.
I don't need to determine ahead, I'm gonna have how many, like when I do edge with Amelia
Yeah,
Scott,
there's
I
math.
gotta do math
There's
before
math
I
involved,
sit
yes.
down. Now, I don't have to do any math. I got enough sizes that are all scalable that I can start and go. Start and go, start and go, start and go. That's the genius part of this whole thing. And they said, and I'm hoping they do, I tried to get on today to see if it was done, but the site was actually down, and I'm hoping it was, because they're taking all their previous designs and converting them so that they work with blue tiles. They claimed that the only difference was going to be that you wouldn't have a placement stitch for your fabric or your batting, but there's more to it than that. All of the designs that are in this packet only have one start and one stop. Designs that have come out previous to this have many starts and many stops within one block, and it drove me nuts. It's fine if you don't look worried about your quilt back. You know,
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
quilting before you put your back on, I don't care that I have 4 stops, although I do because it takes longer. But the new designs don't have multiple starts and stops in them. So that's a huge perk, because you don't like those knots on the back of the quilt. So they got, but,
We can't have
so
knots.
the
You
big,
can't.
this package right here includes all of the designs for both this kit and the expansion kit. The difference is the expansion kit gives you bigger design, blue tiles to use with your hoops.
And so my
Now-
suspicion is you're gonna come out with designs that use the blue tile system, and you won't need to buy more blue tiles to go with those designs.
You don't, they're gonna convert their other designs
Yeah.
to work with these.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm not just, I can't, it doesn't have to just be a Kimblewell design to use these with either.
Oh.
That's why I'm not saying don't get it. Because, you know, I'm a fan of, and I'll be honest with you, we've talked about this before, I'm a fan of printing out my design, sticking it on my paper, sticking my snowman on it, and letting machine do the alignment. Right?
Yeah.
With these, I have to be very careful in doing my hoop. In fact, I haven't figured out how they're going to work with a magnetic hoop, because you have to be very careful. The purpose of these tiles is to get your quilt design centered in your hoop before you head to your sewing machine, and then only do a few fine tunes when you get there. But then I went, I can, and they mark right on the quilt. That's why they give you all these pens. These are water-soluble pens. They mark right on the quilt where the center of the design is. I said, oh, well, I can just put my snowman after I mark my quilt. I can put my snowman. No, I'm taking my template off, but then I'm putting my snowman, but I hadn't thought of that. Well, I don't want to, I'm trying to use it with my magnetic hoops, because I really like my magnetic hoops. And I don't want to be fiddling and diddling 100 times, because I don't have to, because I got this fancy machine.
Yeah.
If I don't have this fancy machine, this is definitely intuitive. If I have a fancy machine, I'm thinking, I'll mark where my design's going to go, but then I'll probably still use my snowman on my projector, because I don't want to worry about putting in my hoop exact. But if you don't have those features, this is very easy to, not with a magnetic hoop though, very easy with the other hoops to get it in your system and get it right. That's the perk. I want to show you what I mean by scalable, if I can.
And for all you Kimberbell people out there that love Kimberbell, we now have an affiliate link on our website. So if you go to,
We do?
Yeah, if we go to Kimber, there's this little thing in the upper corner, Kimberbell affiliate. So if you can't find what you want for Kimberbell on our site, use that link to order your Kimberbell from Kimberbell, and we get a little bit of a kickback.
If you're ordering any of the quilting designs, or you're ordering anything in the vault, order through our link on the website. And by the way, there's a really cute Halloween pillow in the vault right now. It's not very expensive either. It's cute. It's cute.
Do it.
So I'm going to switch to my computer for a minute.
What's that? You don't have that.
If I had
The
that,
Shia
I would-
LaBeouf, we
I
can get that.
definitely would.
Get that for the soundboard. You can't do it.
All right, Eddie, can we go to my computer? All I'm going to do, I'm using my favorite in Brilliance, I'm going to simulate, I'm going to show you via simulation how they work versus like other people's. Hopefully explain it a little bit better. So you can see over here I've got some clear blue tiles pulled up. Just for kicks, I'm going to pull up, let's say, a 6 by 14, okay? And I'm going to move it over here so we can see what it looks like. Now, I'm going to stitch this out for
So
you.
just to be clear, that gold line represents your hoop.
Yes,
Yeah, the big gold line outline
Yes.
represents what you,
Right.
that would be your hoop. And
that would be, yeah, but I can
Yeah.
change to any hoop. I
Yeah.
could take the hoop off too. Right now,
Yeah, but
I want to show you how there's quilts, okay? Where, oh, I got to select it first. There we go. So now I'm going to simulate it. Ready? I'm going to turn the speed up because I see how it didn't start exactly in the middle of my hoop either. Can you see that? But it's not going to matter if you mark it with a blue tile. That blue tile is going to know where it's supposed to start. You see how I had one start? Somewhere in the middle. Try and find it, peeps. I mean, I know where it is.
So,
And my stop is going to be down there. And we're used to seeing on edge to edge, if I'm using this for edge to edge, we're used to seeing it like in the middle
Yeah,
here,
start there,
and then
and-
over here, and then we're trying to line them up,
Yep.
and it's like, wah! Now watch this. I'm going to just move this over, pretend I have a huge,
And you
huge
just
hoop.
rehooped it, you just moved it, rehooped.
Yeah. Whoops, that didn't work. Duplicate it. Whoops. 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 I want to make two of them so I can show you what they look like when they're side by side, but it's not working. Danny.
Missed it by that much.
My trackpad doesn't like the lotion on my fingers.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Okay, there we go.
can't wait for
So
that.
when they're lining up and you're using your blue tiles, now I don't have the blue tiles on screen, but see what I mean about how I can be edge to edge? When that stitch is out,
You can't tell.
you cannot tell
So
that
that's
those
two-
are
that's
two different
Two
designs
different patterns right there, yeah.
that I am just
But you could
do.
move that a little bit to the left or the right, and it would still look pretty good.
Yeah, you can do that yourself.
I
yeah.
know, but I'm just saying that if you highlight it.
Now watch
Wait,
this.
I'm just, so you got a little bit more room for error in that, instead of trying to line up your endpoints.
You
exactly.
absolutely do. There's no lining up of endpoints.
Yeah, so.
And yet, so I can either do this block to block,
Mhm.
right? Because Becky likes to do different things in different blocks. Or I can go edge to edge in this, and I'm not lining up itty bitty little teeny stop points.
There's another
Yes,
good
Danny?
point
Yes, Danny?
that I like. I noticed once you write it on your fabric,
Yes,
it's just going to quilt it.
yes,
The Amelia, after you line it up,
Yeah.
you have to go a step one.
well, there's two different animals. Yes,
But-
you have to.
and
You
then
have to
go.
move it over.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna, yeah, exactly. And this is water soluble, and the reason the tiles have, I should have kept it, the reason the tiles have this in it is so that when you're planning your quilt, you can say, oh, I used the 4x4. And actually write the size of your design as you go. So
So
you,
right in there is.
right in here on your quilt, you write whatever tile sizes are, 4x4. So I would write 4x4 right on my quilt. This tells me, this is important, that tells me it's the top of my design. Because sometimes you turn your quilt around while you're quilting it, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to know where the top of your design should be. This is the center of your design, and these points are used to line up with the hoop. And that's where I go. Snowman. Snowman. But it really is ingenious. And the other thing it does, and this is what really took me away, because I can't tell you how many times you get to the end of your quilting process and you go, I started in the wrong spot.
Mhm.
Now I've got a pattern that's 10 inches wide and I only got 1 inch of quilt left to do.
Mhm.
And what you have to do, folks, is add on some stabilizer or sew on a piece of muslin, re-hoop your quilt, and sew out the full 10 inches that you don't need.
And then cut off 9 because.
And then cut off 9.
Yep.
Here's what you do if it's Kimberbell. All right, now I was bringing in 6x14. So what's important to me in my case is my height, right? Because
Mhm.
it's my
The length, yeah, you wanna go.
It's my length that's wrong. So I have a 2 by 14, right? Why isn't it letting me bring that other one up? Oh, maybe I have to do a new window. What are we doing?
Nothing.
We're watching you.
Okay.
We're saying Norman said hi.
Norman?
Norm.
Norman? Oh, hi, A. Hi, Norm. Okay, now look at this. This is a different design that I picked up. But watch what happens. This is, I have seen nobody else be this smart. Can
So-
you even tell?
Okay, so they have different sizes of
The
that
same scale.
So the scale is the
I
same
can
through
mix
all the
and mix.
designs.
Oh, they are. And
That's
that is the
genius.
beauty of this system.
That is genius.
That is why I can't say, no, I don't need it. And these, frankly, I mean, I'm going to add my snowman because I can, but what if you don't have a machine with a projector and a snowman, right? But even if you do, this is just another thing to help you line everything up.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah,
nice.
Darn it.
this
You're gonna have
blows
to buy
my
it now,
mind.
Danny. I know you didn't want to.
This blows my mind, and you think about it, you can go as high, as low, all over. You can do a little block, you can actually customize borders. I think I have borders in here. Oh, yes, I do. I know I have borders. I'll show you some of their borders. And again, guess what the borders do? And basically on these where you see computer, where you see clear blue tiles versus block to block, the only difference in the ones that came in the package are the block to block give you placement lines for your batting and your fabric. Other than that, it's identical, which is what they're promising to do with all of the one they've already bought. Which to me, yay,
Yay.
yay. So let's go and look at these border loops, because this is, let's say you only have a 5x7 hoop, right?
So if you're running like a NQ 1600E, which maxes out at a 6x10,
Okay,
you can still do an entire quilt with it because this is
Oh, yeah.
for 6. Okay.
yeah, and I already stuck it in the middle, which I don't like, because now I have to go find it. Get out of here, I don't want you, look at that pretty border. And again, the reason you want to, when you mark it, you mark top to, what if you want to alternate it? Right? You
Yeah.
take the same tile and you go, okay, Becky, make sure the top is here on this one, the top is, you know what I mean? You mark it all with your blue tile. You go to you can mark the whole quilt before you even start.
So you can like mark the tile reference points before you get going?
Yeah, you can do the whole quilt. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
Now,
I like it.
I want to show you, well, maybe I don't. Yeah, I was going to show you the real difference between, and you know I like Juju.
Yeah.
You know I do. How do I add a new window? File, new window.
I don't know. Good one.
I don't know. New
Computer
page.
basic
That's a
class.
new page, not a new window. I'm not teaching brilliance.
No, but you guys are computers.
Where's Juju? I know I got some Jujus in here. Oh, see, here's what the old Kimberbells look like, which is why I'm like, you guys better not do that. This is a beautiful design. Oh, no, I don't want that one. Goodbye. I want a horizontal one. So
We just go, "Goodbye."
goodbye. Watch how this stitches out. This was always my pet peeve on their old ones, which is why I was waiting for this to arrive before I would say, yes, it's worth its money. Watch this stitch out. Ready, go. Okay, that's our placement line for our batting. That's our tack down for our batting. Watch the quilting. The tack down twice. Okay, start.
Always jumping around.
Wait a minute, yeah, it stops. It does tie outs. Look, it's got a tie out there to get over to here.
Yep.
See the jump stitches?
Yep.
That is irritating. That's irritating.
Mhm.
3 jump stitches in that small design. Their scales are right though,
Mhm.
in the older designs. Their scales are right, but I'm really hoping they get rid of those jump stitches in the older designs. Then I can use them and not do that. But anyway, let's see. Juju's real quick and then I'll leave you guys alone.
Thank God.
Jeez.
But if you're curious and you can make it in Saturday, we're going to put blue
Yes.
tiles in the class. We're going to do
Yep.
a couple of the blue tiles with everything else. Really get you guys thinking. Juju, where art thou? Oh, here she is. Okay, let's do a new page for Juju. Okay, now here's what I want to show. Here's a 6x10 on Juju, okay? Look, oh, hand cream.
We can try to monitor on the studio audience today. Brenda's standing
Well,
up to see what's going
I'm
on.
not gonna get it over there because my stupid hand cream is messing with my trackpad. Something fierce today.
Should have brought him out.
I know, I can't
Hand
believe
cream
I
and mouse.
didn't. Let's do this. There's always a way around it. There we go. Okay, that's a Juju design. See, you'll notice how this is a 6x10. You'll notice how there's a start and a stop, like we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
So when I do an overall quilt on this, I've got to line up those 2 points so that it looks right. And that's all it's good for, is overall quilting.
Mhm.
Whereas what I just showed you with Kimberbell, I can do a block to block or an all over.
Yeah, throw the block or, yeah.
I can do either one and it looks really pretty. Now that design, excuse me, in 6x10 looks like that. Let's go pretend I want to get a 4x4 of that design.
So, yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. We thought it's a different design.
It's a different design, it's a
Because
different
yeah,
scale.
Yeah, the scale's.
The problem is the scale is not the same.
But the design itself is the
See
same.
how all I do is shrink it down?
Yeah.
Well, I can't just mix and match anymore. Get over
I
it.
mean, you could, but it'd be really
No,
weird.
it looks awful.
It would be very noticeable. Wow, they are brilliant.
See?
Yeah.
That looks funny.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
So
That's the genius.
that's the genius.
That's why you need to come buy some clear blue tiles.
Well, it's the only way to get those files right now.
Yeah.
And they are really cute files. I didn't show them off too much. Let's show them off real quick. Ready?
Ready, Eddie?
Oh, and there's also a free patent for a table runner in
Oh,
here
nice.
that uses the designs. So they have a winter one, which is really cute with snowflakes. There's a spring one with flowers. There's a swirly one for anything. This one has little bumblebees. And this one has candy corn.
They almost look like
Oh.
Really cool.
And then
Yeah.
2 different border designs, which I showed you, which I thought were really pretty. And these itty bitties, which are just basically for filling in a corner block or something like that.
like on the pillows, the bottom of the pillow.
Yeah, yeah. you know.
Now.
So they're very cute.
I wanna
They're very
experiment
cute.
with it now.
It's very,
Well,
I
I'm wondering, because
had to play.
the machines have scaling built into them, so if you scaled each of the blocks the same size.
It's gonna ruin your stitch length.
Oh, that's true, okay, never mind.
The
Yeah.
dent, yeah.
Yeah, and I've tried that with Juju, and what I have to do is go in and splice out pieces I want and get software involved. I don't have
Oh,
to
yeah.
get software involved with this, which is what some people will love about it.
Yeah.
Is I don't even need to bring up my computer,
I see.
and that's a big perk.
Yes. So, Saturday, come on by and learn how to do this.
Well, you gotta sign up for class, it's not gonna be a free-for-all.
Oh, yeah, we'll sign up for class.
Sign up for
Go
class!
to 4xquilting.com
It's not
and
gonna be
check
a
out
free-for-all.
classes.
You wanna come in and play with some blue tiles, Becky's ready to play. Ah!
Ta-da-da.
Oh, wow, look at my hair, I need a haircut.
Is that,
Okay,
that's what you got?
that's all I got, folks.
All right. Thank you for joining us for another evening of Shenanigans with Becky and Brent. Join us again next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at Quilts.
So serious.